The first step to build your terrarium is to create the soil layering that will allow the water to recycle and the plants to survive without too much water or too little water, right? So it needs to be like to mimic what happens on Earth. That means the roots will seek for water, but it cannot be underwater, right? Most plants don't survive underwater. It needs oxygen and the exchange. If there's just water, it's really hard. So we need to create like little pockets of air inside the soil, and I'll explain how we'll do that. Right. The first thing that we add to our jar, terrarium jar, is the activated carbon that you can find in agricultural stores, and or you can use recycle used water filter, the one that we use at home. They do have activated carbon inside the filter, and it's used to trap like excess of microorganisms that could be in the water. And this is the same purpose for the terrarium. We don't want um, algae to overgrowth. We don't want fungi to overgrowth before it gets into a stable situation. So we add them. And remember, in your kit, you will receive one package. So you have to divide in half in order to have equal amounts for both terrariums. Okay. So for every material that you receive in your kit, you're gonna have to divide to make the two terrariums. So as you can see, Aline and I will be making the terrariums, and the goal here is to try to make them as similar as possible. So next step, what is the next step? This. So this is called hydrostone.
Yes,
hydrostone. And they are like very light pebbles, spongy, and the purpose of that is if when the root gets to this layer, it will find enough air, it won't rot. So even if there's too much water in your terrarium, it won't make the root to rot. Okay, the root will still have enough space to breathe. Okay, so we can add this layer to the terrarium. And so far so good. It's very simple. It's all dry, and you can just pour, and mix both. This won't show in your terrarium, but if you don't want to have the activated carbon showing, you can use spoons or paintbrush to hide your activated carbon, to put it in the center of your terrarium. It's up to you. It really it won't show. So the next step is to create like a layer of underwater reservoir. So on Earth, we do have underwater reservoir. When the rainwater gets filtered through the soil and then stays where it hits stones. And then you have like a little lake underwater. And to do that, we're gonna use moist sphagnum. So we can buy dry sphagnum in the store, in an agricultural store. Usually it's good for orchids. And then you just leave it with water. So before you add to your terrarium, you just let it soak water. And remember to divide to both of them. So you can use your hands or spoon and try to spread it out in a way that it will create a layer that will separate the hydrostones from the soil that you're gonna put on top. How's it going?
Great.
Okay. as you can see. So we have the activated carbon, the hydrostones, and the moist sphagnum for your terrarium. You don't need too much of the sphagnum. You know, the little you have, it's good, it's fine. It's just to create the nice balance of water inside your terrarium. So the next step is soil. So ideally, we're gonna add the soil a little bit moist. So this is a bit dry. So what I'm gonna do is add some water. Can you find the... We're gonna add some water because when it's moist, the powder won't stick on the glass. It will be easy to get it under. Let me just pause for a moment here. We are back. Yes, we are back, and this is what we can do to moist the soil, or you can just put it under water. Don't soak it too much, but just enough that you know that the powder won't stick on the surface of the terrarium. If it does, it's fine. It's just you're gonna have more work to clean the powder before you start adding other layers. Okay? So you want to check with the spoon when you need to see if it's evenly moist, or we need more water. Need more water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, no.
Pause. So a nice potting mix with some organic matter is enough. We do need to have some food for the plants, not too much because it's a small container and that could burn the roots. But the potting soil that they sell on the market, it's good. Or the ones that you use to plant like vegetables in your garden, that's good too. Okay. So we add a layer of soil, and remember you're also gonna need soil for another layer. So let's use like 1/4 of the soil that you got per glass, because we're gonna need again after the sand layer. At this stage, like, you don't need much. It's about like 1/2 inch to 1 inch of soil, and make sure that it's very nice and compact inside. And I usually create some tools to help that. This is a cork, a wine cork, with the chopstick, and it's very useful to just press the soil inside, and then we have a nice layer of compact soil. See? If the soil is not moist enough, you're probably gonna need to clean the inside surface of your glass, and I use like paintbrushes to do that. And here I'm just gonna push some of the soil that was on the surface down there. And now is the time when you can create nice artistic layers of sand. If you have colored sand, you can add colored sand, and to not waste too much, usually you just do on the outside where you can see through the glass, the colored one. But the regular terrarium sand, or you can use like clean play sand that we can buy on the market too, to just create a fine layer of sand on top of the soil here. So this is not just for decoration, but it helps to create that inorganic layer of sand that will be in between the soil layers. Okay, at some point if your terrarium is really old, it will mix it up. It's fine. Yeah, the roots will mix them up. But yeah, we know it's stable enough and it's good. Yeah, so while Ellen is doing the, do you want to do the green one?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add the second layer of soil here. And very carefully, because the sand was not moist, so it could get out of the place, and I want to keep the nice sand layer on top or in between the soil layers. And you know your soil is moist enough when you press it and it stays nicely and compact. If it comes up or it sticks to whatever tool you're using to press it, it's because it still needs more water. Okay, you don't want it too moist, like soaking moist, right? It's just enough to be placed there. And we add a little bit more to make it ready to receive the plant. Okay. So here is your soil layer. Yeah, Aline is finishing hers. And this is the first lesson of today. So see you tomorrow.